the Diamond Lounge. You're here with me, your host, Donnie C. And of course,
your one and only, your boy, Scrappy motherfucking dude.
Hold on, wait. When did we start adding that extra?
The motherfucking bitch.
Yes, that part.
That's my middle name.
Go back to you. I've been letting you make it for. Okay, anyway. And I'm sorry. And of course, we have us, well, not of course, but we have a special guest with us here today, Mr. The voice of the night. I don't know, y'all look, my like R&B heart, old school heart is so excited right now. So this is Houston's voice of the night, Mr. KG Smooth.
How you doing?
I try to get your voice. Look.
I know. It's so funny how everybody does that. Like it's so funny. Celebrities are like,
Look,
people just do that.
I want to match your tone.
I can't help
Should
it.
I get your sexy on?
Yeah,
now?
look.
This voice got a mind of its own.
Because
I
it's so
know.
soothing. I was.
Thank you.
How do you, I mean, is that your that's your natural?
Yeah, I mean, not unless I'm riled up. You know, it may go up a couple keys.
Really? Because it's so because it's such a mellow tone. Like I can do that, but it's an effort. Like my normal voice is always, and not just because I'm a woman, it's just elevated.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, thank you for that. That's a compliment that I've been getting my entire career. I remember one time I was in the eye doctor's office and I was just talking, and some other Asian guy was just in there like a patient. And afterwards, he said to me, he's like, "Oh, your voice so soothing. Like you wish I do something."
No, for real. That's what I'm saying. Like it's really a gift. Like even like in the like field of therapy, having that soothing tone. I remember when I was in college and going to grad school and all that kind of stuff. Like one of my professors was like, "Monitor your tone. Monitor your come bring it down. It calms them down." I was like, "But that's not me."
Right.
Maybe I want them to be lovely.
The whole thing you gotta do is say hi to a chick with that voice. She already think he run a game.
Yeah,
well, hold on. You try. Hi.
But the one thing that I get, I don't. People tend to kind of try to keep me in that box, but I'm very versatile when it comes to, delivering
I'm sure you
voice
are.
or vocal inflections, if you will.
I just always liked because you were an easy transition for Marco.
Thank you.
Because I was like, is this his son? Like, what?
Thank you.
The voice was almost identical. So I was like, what
Thank
the
you.
heck? Are they playing games?
I was so honored and proud when Marco passed the baton off to me. And he said to me, he was like, "Yo, you're going to be phenomenal. You're going to be one of the top Quiet Storm guys in the country. Like, do your thing. Take every opportunity. Like, make it yours. Like, you're going to be that man."
You can be that man.
And I was just like, wow, market icon, Marco Spoon, who's responsible for, I'm sure, a lot of these
Babies.
90s and 2000s babies around town.
Right? That's
So-
what I was just thinking. 'Cause I'm like, I always say my old school spirit, whatever. And I was like, wait a minute. At what age are you no longer old school or you just old? Like, is it past 40 or is it you're 30? Because like, I'm in.
I don't know, cause I be getting called old a lot too, and it's been since.
See, I didn't say it. No, see, I didn't say I was being called old. I said my old school.
Vibes. Well, if you just born in the '80s, you automatically got that. To
Old
me.
school vibe.
Yeah, because
I mean, 80s
you in
babies
that.
are about to be 40.
Yeah, because you
that's
stuck
what I'm
in
saying.
that.
Like, so it might
This
get.
decade, 80s
Is it
babies
about to
is-
be? Is it about to change where I can't say, "Oh, I have an old school spirit," to where I'm just say, "Oh, I'm just old."
Listen,
The '90s R&B
Cut-
era that we grew up in.
just cut the number out. Just forget about it. I mean, we I like to say, and I got this from Mario, the singer. Sorry, I hate to name drop, but
Which one? I'm about to say,
Mario. Oh baby, you got what I need. Let me love you.
ahead.
That Mario. He's like, I'm not an age, I'm an energy.
Okay.
And yeah, I was like, yeah, Mario, I'm taking that because, 40 and 50 aren't our parents or our grandparents. 50, I mean, when you look at the people that are 50 now, like the Jay-Z's and the Will Smiths and the Halle Berrys and the Janet Jacksons and all of them,
They make it look real good.
Yo, like I remember when they turned 40 and I was like, dang, Will Smith looking like this at 40, like
That's how-
I'm gonna be all right.
Exactly.
And and now as we, get up there, you're looking like it's
Still look
30 ain't
young.
what
You
it
still
is
look
when
younger.
you get there.
Yeah,
Yeah, you still look younger. 35 ain't what it is when you look there. With us, you don't know.
It don't crack.
You know
Just
what
go
I
ahead
mean?
and say it.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
like how we look at the school teacher. Be like, back when we were young in school, the teacher looked at like this, and now look at the teachers
Look
now.
at that.
So it's almost like
Right.
like that.
It's a whole nother world.
It's a whole nother. We
Like
the last
Keely
real
said,
generation.
We're not old. I know that's right, Keely. We're not.
we're the last real generation. We're the last
Thank
generation
you.
to be right there in the middle, to have that old school training
Like,
with
exactly.
the inception of
This whole new
technology
age.
and the internet. And so we the last of the reals,
Pretty much.
you know.
I mean, in every way, like you said, from education to home, like rearing, all of that. Like, we are that generation that was. I mean, it's a few of us that still holding on and still like bringing our kids up that same way.
Yeah,
but for the most
which
part,
and it still should be.
it should no, it should be, but
I
it's
mean-
it's like you said, we're the last one that I feel like across the board, it was easy to say like I feel like okay, like this, like let's say if you were a kid that got in trouble in school, I feel like in our generation, it was kind of known you didn't want your parents called
Right.
across the board,
Right,
like
period.
you didn't want your parents called. Anybody, even the bad kid at school, still didn't want his parents called. You know, like he would still probably be like, I'm not sorry, but even
Why you gotta? Why I had to be the bad
he the
kid?
guess. But even that bad kid in school that always got in trouble would still be kind of upset or timid or afraid or whatever at the fact that please don't call my mom.
Right.
That's like gone now, except for a few here and there. It's like a sprinkle of like, okay, I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna do right. I'm sorry. Like it's just kind of like it's like a loss. We're fading out.
Yeah, that's because
So?
babies
Exactly.
kept having babies and,
Ex-
and raising them, and so the way that they came up or the things that they got away with, it keeps going down because nowadays these parents are trying to
Be friends before
the-
parents.
Yeah,
right, and
yeah.
that is the problem because they want to live the years that they lost because
And I
you
don't
know,
get
the
that.
situation happened that you got knocked up.
Yeah, I don't get that because I'm like, I consider myself friends with both of my parents, but they don't play, and that was
Right.
okay. We grew up knowing, okay, Marcia, Donald, they don't play. But now that we grown, my brothers, we all have our own relationship with each of our parents, and we all are friends with each. Like we can joke around, kid, laugh, hang out. We're grown now.
But you know your limits, though.
Exactly,
but see,
and there will
'cause-
always be a respect barrier there
Right,
because
exactly.
that's how we were brought up.
'Cause my parents more friends than parents, but like I say, I know that boundary not to cross, or you know what I'm saying, or know that line not to cross. But I'm more like almost got a brother sister relationship, brother sister and brother whatever relationship. So brother father my dad and brother sister more my mom than a parent. You know what I'm saying? Father son or mother son. Like that's how our relationship is. I guess if I ain't grew up with them, I guess.
Probably so. That has a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess, the relationship.
But it was still that you had a foundation who you were brought up with that still established a respect level.
Yeah, but I still respect them. You know
That's what I'm saying. Like, and that's my point.
You know,
Like-
I know what line not to cross. Even though I do walk a
walk
thin
that
one.
You be tiptoeing sometimes.
I do walk a thin one.
So,
We're like a ballerina on that line.
that's help us. But while we have our special guest here, so I want to ask you, like, okay, because just found out you're not from Houston, so you're a transplant. So, with that being said, do you feel like it's a different kind of environment from here and where you're from? Because
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not. Coming here wasn't like a culture shock or anything.
Okay,
I mean,
that's right.
I lived in Georgia for 7 years, so
Oh,
I was familiar with the South.
Mhm.
This South is more Western, so So it's different. Like Houston is my fifth market in radio. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio. I got my start in Cincinnati at a radio station, 100.9 The Wiz. Then I was in Cleveland. Then I was in Columbus, Georgia, for those years, and that was when like the economy collapsed because I was about to leave, and then when the economy collapsed
You
in
had to stay.
08, like fear set in, and I ended up staying, but it ended up staying way too damn long. But dang, I done lost my thought.
you say we're country.
Yeah. So just
He ain't say that.
I didn't say that. no.
He said yeah.
So just even though black folks, we are all the same, like we're different, and it's regionally. And so the South in Georgia, Alabama, Florida is more of like a Jim Crow kind of South versus this South is more Western, like a Southern and with the Western culture. So it's different. It's more, cowboy boots and hats and cattle
Probably
versus
all of them trail rides.
right, trail rides and all that.
Yeah.
That culture is not prevalent in
Like
the
Florida
South,
area.
and like in Florida or Georgia or Alabama. I mean, yeah, they have horses, but it's not the same. It's not a Western culture like it is here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, Houston doesn't get the props that it deserves when it comes to the cultural impact of this nation, and especially in the music industry, because a lot of people come and they, will come here and they'll cultivate here,
See it.
secretly have, property here and take what we have
Thank you.
elsewhere.
Thank you.
And people don't think, like, when Drip came out, like, and everybody, I was like,
That is from Houston. And they
we invented the drip, like, for real. Like,
But they
the
were-
word
Sauce.
drip,
Oh,
South
man.
shout out to South Walker. And, it's so much.
I know,
so
but
much.
like you said, it's because, and that's I guess I want to ask why I brought that up, because I feel like we don't get that respect, or for whatever we're like looked down on, and I don't get it.
It used to be that you were looked as, especially from being on the outside, just the state of Texas, period.
Yeah.
How the state of Texas looks to everybody else is just like this
Hillbilly.
country hick, stupid people. And
Yeah.
then you kind of had some things to back that up with W being in office. And, and God, do
Everybody,
we miss him.
look, Trump is in office now, and look, come on now.
But that was saying it, different times. So, but being here and living here and seeing, how it is, I'm like, nah. When I first got here, I was like, Houston is the country's best kept secret. I mean, of course, the secret is out now.
I know, and I hate it.
And I can tell by the traffic. Everybody's
Thank
moving
you.
here.
That's why I hate it.
And as soon as these censuses are done and we come out, we're definitely going to replace Chicago. And it's going to be New York, L.A., Houston,
Yeah.
Chicago.
I don't want
Definitely
that.
overpopulated.
I like that we were a secret. I like that people slept on us. I like in ways that people just did not know about us because of the fact, like you said.
But in other ways, like
No, they
especially on
knew.
the business front, they knew,
But they just
didn't really say nothing.
give us our recognition.
Right,
though,
give
like we
you the
deserve.
props. Because
That's
if you look at it right now, like especially in 2019, like if Houston didn't win 2019, especially in the music industry, we dominated all of the hot artists were out of here.
Yep.
Ain't no one saying that though. Are they? I mean, I don't hear. Do you hear? Are they speaking on that? You're more in the radio, so you might hear more. Are they? Or do you hear
Not
it?
putting them together like that, but it.
I don't think
it's
the question-
mentioned, not enough.
Yeah, I don't think they should get too far details to the
Yeah,
fact
it's
that,
mentioned
oh,
just
you from
not
Houston,
enough.
and then that'd be it. It's
You
like
know.
It's like it moves on right on along.
yeah, it just goes right on around.
Like
you know.
Lizzo, like Lizzo from Houston, like of course. I mean,
See, they
of course
try
we
to
know Meg.
give her attribute her to being from Michigan, like where she was
Yeah.
born, as
No.
opposed to the fact that she was raised here. A-Leaf, SWAT.
Ailey,
The
thank
SWAT,
you. I
baby.
mean, I was about to say she's
One of-
from the
you know,
SWAT. Yeah, like,
so-
come on.
I don't, but like you said,
Meg Normani, even though she's originally from New Orleans, like moved here from Katrina, she was raised here in
Yeah.
Houston.
see, but we don't get that. We don't get that kind of credit. So that's why I say I'm like, we're a slept on city. It has its ups and downs sometimes. Sometimes I wish they would sleep a little bit more because, like you said, that
Not anymore
traffic
though.
is horrible.
Not anymore.
Because they all
Chicago.
Because everybody
And our,
be
and our real estate is going, like, I'm like, everything is going, that's what I'm saying, when we were slept on, I feel like we had it good. Now that we're not, now that people are starting to wake up to us, it's like there's a shift happening. And
Well, I think in terms of the
I
real
don't
estate,
like
I think all of the floods that we had back to back to back in all of these years attributes to that.
you think so?
Oh, absolutely. Because especially after Harvey, I know people that lived in areas that didn't flood that are in real estate and just got property there. They said, oh, the value of property went up like 70%.
Oh, just
Yeah,
because
'cause
your
not
area
close-
It
don't.
don't flood. Yeah,
because
yeah,
right.
it don't flood. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I can see that.
Yeah,
that-
that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's fine area that don't
See,
flood.
so-
See, think about that. Look,
Fine
that's
area
what
that
I'm
don't
thinking
flood and
about
start buying up property.
I mean, basically.
Yeah,
But and this is so sad. Like, man caused all of this. Man caused all of this because when you have 100-year historic floods hit a city
That should tell
year
you something.
after year, that says, at least to me, I'm like, well, when they were building all of these new developments, like, wasn't there any zoning? They didn't think about, like, why would you want to cover up all of the wetlands? Because the wetlands, which is God made, it was designed to
that
absorb
water.
To soak up
all
all
of
that,
this,
yeah.
and then you cover it up, to
And it's funny you say that because my dad says it all the time because
Money.
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 they
And that's
moved
what I'm
out to
saying.
Richmond, and right now Richmond doesn't, well, not for the most part, it doesn't flood. But he always looks around because he's like that's right now, but he's like the more they keep building up, and like you said, covering up this, putting that concrete on top of it, he's like it's gonna start flooding out here as well because the water is gonna have nowhere to go.
Oh well.
It is, and that's why I said it's a blessing and a curse when people start realizing your city is popping. It starts getting populated. So,
But people always be dipping in and out through here, and you just don't be knowing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't think we was slept on. They probably took a nap.
Because you got to think about it,
Little nap.
like there's whatever you're into, whatever you want to do, you can do it here. There's so much space. I mean, if you wanna go to the mountains, just go a little more east. If you want to go to the beach, all you got to do is go south. If you want to go to the desert, all you got to do is go
and then you
west.
always go right back home to
and
Houston.
It's
It's located to everything. Like it's
yeah,
Houston, the
and it
16
feels
of
good.
the cities.
basically of Texas. Houston is it.
Yeah.
Because you got Louisiana right here, so you can go to New Orleans. I mean, it's really a nice centrally located bubble. And even inside of itself, it has a lot of attractions. So it's like, it's a poppin' city. I love the city.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's oil and gas country.
You know?
It's sustained it for decades on decades. So I love it here. The vibe is just incredible. I feel like wherever I am in Houston, it just feels like home. Even when people are like, "Oh, you want to move somewhere else? Where would you want to move if you was to move out that area?"
I can't
Anywhere, anywhere.
So you
But
got some
I
people
really
that
wanna
be
get the
stuck
third
on that
ward,
whole, I ain't going to the north side, or I ain't going to the south side.
Well, there are some exceptions. Like north is one.
But I guess I'm thinking because of the population, how long it takes to get to each area now. I think that plays a big factor.
And it also going north. It depends on where you find where you're talking about north. Because I learned like anything past downtown is considered the north side.
Yeah.
And
Basically.
so
I mean, don't get me wrong.
if I'm at Cross Timbers, then I ain't tripping.
Oh,
But
welcome to my hood.
If I'm in Greens, if I'm up in Greenspoint, then
Be careful.
yikes! Like that's a long drive. I love it up there. Like I done been up there, but in my years of living here, like I love it up there. Maybe because I receive love, and I just feel like, and I grew up, in the hood, so. When you go back to something that feels familiar with home, you're always going to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
No matter
It's gonna pull you in.
where you at.
Yep.
I love it up there. Like I ain't never had no problem. I mean, I know that some folks say it's dangerous. I ain't experienced that shit. I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Which is very well.
I'm about to say it is everywhere.
Right, but yeah,
It's
I
just a
love
little bit
them
more
up
in some
there.
places.
yeah.
Just a little bit.
like swats.
Hey, well, it's not the spot I grew up in, so
Yeah, because like now y'all inundated with Asians and Nigerians.
no, that's what I grew up in. It was always I grew up in a severe melting pot that I love because I was around every culture. Nigerian, not just Nigerians, just Africans, period, Asians, period, Hispanics, period, because
Right.
from all,
Which is also the other beauty of Houston.
right. And so that's what I always
Different
loved about the SWAT.
Ethnicities.
Even though it didn't always used to be like this. No. Oh no. I was at this event, and man, what's my man's name from KPRC?
Channel 2?
The yeah, the older Mexican guy.
Oh, the older Mexican.
Been here forever. Oh, his name escapes me right now. I'm so sorry, but he was telling some stories of, how it used to be like back in the 80s, in the early and mid 80s.
How was it?
Oh my God, it was wild, like just the blatant racism, because they wanted to call Bush, they wanted to name Bush after, oh my gosh, I gotta
Some of
get
the
my
airport?
facts right. Yeah, they wanted to name it after somebody else, some black man, and then
really?
they was like, we're not naming it after no nigger.
What was
Damn, that's fucked up.
Was it
Like-
the mayor that they want to name after? After our mayor?
I can't remember. He told so many stories. It was just such a
No,
it was
not-
fascinating. But having said all that, to your point,
Mm-hmm.
Houston has come a mighty long way.
Mighty long way. But okay. With all that being said, because we are running out of time, and I just see you had that voice that just talks. But okay, how with you being in Houston, is there anything in particular that you feel like you've taken a passion to? Like, I don't care if it's a cause or just anything
Yeah.
that you want to highlight real quick.
Sure. I love my community affairs show, Access Houston on 97.9 The Box, that airs on Sunday mornings. I mean, I know y'all hear me at night on Magic hosting The Quiet Storm, and that's cool, but using that platform for us, for black people, I am unapologetically blackity, black, like whatever it is that I feel like, is going to help and benefit us, and that I feel that we should be more aware of. I'm going to have you on, be it from a nonprofit to a cause or whatever. So me doing that, because that show is not about me, it's about Houston. I mean, and all of Houston, even though, I just said I'm blackity black on that show, because my goal is just to liberate our people. That's just liberate. We have to totally change the way that we think.
Thank you.
Because I just feel like growing up, and the more you read and just get educated and learn history about your own country from another country, the truth of things that they don't tell us is just like, man, like, you're
Because they put
disappointed
it
that
as-
everything is a lie, and it was about this at the end of it all. So using that platform to liberate us is the mission here in this
Yeah, because
city.
once you get to the mind is where it's all at. So once you can free someone's mind and their
Yeah.
thinking and how they see things, then it you actually have a chance of doing something else, going somewhere else with them. Even if not with them, maybe they can go by themselves, but just still, like, you plant that seed and let it blossom. And that's why I love. That's what this is for, like this platform. I feel like our first season, I was all everything black.
Fuck
I
the
was-
other side.
No, it wasn't about anybody else. It was just about, I want to uplift and celebrate my people as much as
But
possible.
if that is
You
you,
know?
then you should do that.
No, it's
Because
still me.
Super serve your audience, or who you feel that should get it. Because
That's-
look at
that's
Tyler
still
Perry.
me.
He has made a super serving.
And that's why I love him. And I hate when people down him. I get I get some of the
I get like,
argument.
okay, maybe you don't like the content of,
Yeah, but I'm like, y'all do
some of the
realize
content that he puts
this
out.
is a
but
black man that has come up
Right.
from nothing, and he employs thousands of black people. He highlights black people. He puts black people in leading roles that they've never been in, even though they've been in the industry for decades and all that kind of stuff. Do y'all realize the kind of stuff that this man is doing? You don't have to like his movies because you might think it's the same, whatever. Even though that's a whole other
But
story.
all the movie has a message in it.
And thank you, and it's a positive
So-
message at
so-
that. So why I don't? It's just that's what I like. I feel like our minds are so just stuck on it has to-
Critiquing it, like
Each other so hard.
Yeah.
and like having these expectations of each other so hard that it makes it hard for us to celebrate each other. And I'm like, can we get back? Can we? I don't know if we get back to, but can we just get to celebrating each other and the things that each other is doing? Like, especially when they're doing it for the community. Like, when we see, if I see you uplifting my community, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be slower to criticize and bring you down. Like, I mean, in a public way. Like, if I know you personally, I might be like, hey, KG, that probably wasn't the best thing or whatever. But if I see you uplifting and doing all this kind of positive stuff, I'm not supposed to use my platform and be like, oh, that KG, he's doing, like, why? I don't want to tear you down in a public way when you are positive or trying to do something positive. Like I said, I'll tell you, but I'll try to tell you, unless it's just something like you doing something just astronomical, detrimental to, but okay, then, because then I probably can't rock with you anymore. But if I can rock with you and still rock with your cause and what you're doing, I'm not going to try to tear you down publicly when I can do it privately, and try to get a response out of you or something, get my message to you some kind of way, because I just don't get that. Like, I feel like that's that whole crab in a bucket thing that we got going on. Like, looking for that any chance you get to bring the other person down.
We quit to do it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Crabs aren't meant to be in a bucket.
Meant to eat.
See, he tried to go deep real quick. And
And
you brought it back. You're right, but when they're put in there, they get out quicker if they would actually help each other. So we're trying to get out of a situation that we were meant to be in. Let's lift each other up as opposed to keep pulling you down. That's all I'm saying.
I agree. I'm glad that the unity. I see it more, and I'm glad of that. And of course,
Definitely.
you're always going to have haters and doubters, but
Cool.
I see it right here in Houston. Black folks supporting each other, trying to keep the black dollar circulated in the black community with, patronizing each other like in real time. Like, I see it happening in Houston. I don't know everywhere else, but here, like, it's real.
Yeah,
And
I see it. I see it a lot too.
Yeah,
I
for
see it a
sure.
lot, too. Even when it comes to whatever from wardrobes, people supporting each other by buying, whatever clothes line you got going on.
Are doing their podcasts.
Yeah, helping each other with that. I just see people helping out with each other in a whole bunch of ways. Even when it just comes to, certain stores people go to, I see they can just go to. I ain't finna go to this store. I go to this store way over here on the other side of town just because it's black owned.
Yeah, that's me. I don't even buy my personal toiletries. Like, I don't even shop at big brand name stores like the Walmarts and the Targets and things like that anymore.
Instagram is the best shopping market.
Exactly.
ever.
I buy black.
I go to my cousin. She coupons.
All of my stuff through a black-owned company. My soaps, lotions, face wash.
And then you get
all
organically made. And
Yep,
it's
Oh, you talking about like that?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I thought you talking about.
Yeah, organically made with just the basic, ingredients for
earth.
that. Yeah.
Mother
yeah,
Nature.
Yeah. They killing us over here. I don't know if y'all seen that meme going around with the Quaker oatmeals. They had the ingredients on the box of Quaker oats in America, and then
Like
Quaker oats in England somewhere.
it's different.
There's, oh my God, all of the stuff they put in the
All
stuff
the
over here
chemicals.
versus, Quaker just putting the basic oats and some brown sugar in it. Like, that's all you see on the ingredients in the European version versus the American version that's got all of this stuff. And then you see all these other chemicals and it's just like,
Why?
what?
Like-
Why?
That's
What?
probably why you see more young people dying than
Yeah, because
anything.
they're putting a lot of chemicals in on everything we even. It's funny, like even the fruits and vegetables, you gotta be picky about that, because they put chemicals in that, hormones and stuff like that. Like
Yeah, the
everything
pesticides
is
and all of that.
infected.
Yeah.
hormones.
Growing. That's why we gotta.
Growth hormone. That's why when they say non-GMO,
Yo.
that's genetically modified.
That's why we got to get back to gardening. That's why we got to get back to growing our own. Because if we just do it ourselves, a little garden coming from you ain't got to worry about this other stuff. Like we have.
To grow your
we
own
have
weed count?
got
Got
to
to get back?
retrain. Huh? What? Yeah, I'm with that too.
She'll gloss over it. She would have come on.
No, you know what? This is, well, I kind of have to. I can't. I do have to gloss over it.
Gloss over it. Hey, boy. My kid watches this.
Not even just that, for other purposes.
No.
I can't be.
Walt Disney.
Can't be promoting that. So we're gonna move right along.
Black on.
Still can't promote that. Got licenses and stuff. So anyway, with that being said, thank you so much, again, Mr. KG, for coming on.
Oh,
I was
thank you,
so
Doncie.
excited. You know what I'm saying? Like when I saw that click and called like immediately as soon as I
Well,
saw.
thank you. Yeah.
So I hope we can have you on again. Or oh no, wait, aren't you having? Did we miss something?
Did we miss something?
I thought you were having a show. No,
When?
podcast coming up.
Oh, well, you all can check out my podcast. Yes. It's called Conversations with KG, the podcast. It's available on all major platforms, Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeart.
Same thing we're on?
wherever. All of them, all the major ones. Check it out. I'm just re-spinning some. I was going through like I have an unlimited amount of interviews that I have done with
And you haven't put them on?
celebrities that like. There's even some when I walk by the station and they'll have our interviews playing in the lobby. Like, wait, I ain't even seen that. Like, dang, I forgot about that. And
Are you
I'm
sleeping on
taking
yourself?
Yeah, I am. So I'm taking this content and respinning it with celebrities and also community people from my Access Houston show. So yeah, check it out. Conversations with KG, the podcast.
There you go. And so, like I said, hopefully one day we can have you back on our show again.
Absolutely, I would love to. This was
I
fun.
would love to have you. Like I said, can't wait. Bring some music. Have set up a booth. No, I'm playing.
Yeah. I got more questions
You got more. I'm
for
sorry.
the industry.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, I can be.
I didn't mean you.
No, we just get to the conversation how they carry on to other things. And
I
then
know,
just,
30 minutes is so quick. I be
So
trying
fast.
to
So,
stay.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, okay, well, so see, you have to come back.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll,
Do it.
I'll
Let's
tell
get
you
it.
what I know.
Look, no promises.
Oh no, I just about to start up what made me want to do shit like that.
Yeah, I know. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back next week. We are starting our new month with our podcast family. So next month, which is next week, we will be featuring one of our podcasts, someone from our podcast community be up here with us. Can't wait for that. So until then, y'all have a safe weekend. What you want to say? Say the word.
Drop your diamonds.
And make sure you follow us on all platforms. Like I said, Instagram, Facebook. I was about to say MySpace.
MySpace.
I know. I was like, what? Twitter, YouTube.
Black Planet. You want to anything else you want to add?
I know. See, I'm getting old. Okay, until then. Bye-bye.